I have a pepperami next to me, and it's calling to me like the Green Goblin mask. In some of my previous videos, which you should totally watch by the way if you haven't, I talked about how I've always been a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's and Team Fortress 2, two games that seemingly didn't have much to do with each other, with one being a class-based shooter by a big company, and another being an atmospheric horror game by some guy. So, imagine my shock when I found out that someone had actually made a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game based around the TF2 characters and world. Introducing before you now, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Five Nights at Spies.
Finally, my dream game, yes. It's not about the money, Spider-Man. Sometimes it's about the Five Nights at Spies.
Worst joke ever. Created by Mantabro, Inzane, and Sir Mir, Five Nights at Spies was published during the midst of 2015, which, if you know anything about FNAF fan games, means this game's gonna be like a fine-ass wine. So, grab a glass, my dearest friend, and I'll begin pouring.
Here we go, Five Nights at Spies. Put it in there. Put it.
Five Nights at Spies stars you, Mr. Unnamed Protagonist Sam, starting his new job working at an abandoned turbine factory, which is based off a map in the game. Cool Turbine, it's really cool, where he looks after these old mechanical versions of classic TF2 characters, like the Spy and the Hoovy. These robots were supposedly manufactured by the Red Team long ago for an unknown reason, and are, for an also unknown reason, really fucking hostile, meaning you'll have to find ways to evade these guys each night if you want to survive. This is more or less the synopsis of the game, told to you through the beginning newspaper and various nightly phone calls. There's a bit more to it, with mini-games after each night showing how the robots might have become so hostile and how there's this killer blue heavy, but I'll try not to touch on it too much in case you guys actually want to play this game for yourself. Before I say anything about this game, I just want to put out there that I'm probably going to be mad biased with my review here, because I love the type of FNAF fan game this is, in terms of mechanics anyway. I've always been someone who really enjoys the more simpler style of FNAF fan games, where the mechanics themselves were quite simple and could fall easily in line with those of the official games, with little or no outside elements complicating its core ideas. This is kind of why I still don't really fuck with juniors. I just feel gameplay-wise, for me, it just strays too far from what a FNAF fan game should usually play like, but that's my opinion. Five Nights at Spies, however, being an incredibly early fan game, does a great job at keeping things simple and intuitive, whilst also having a decent difficulty rise as the game progresses. All the characters and each of their mechanics also feel incredibly well balanced, no character intruding on the other, with each having their own time and place in a fashion that doesn't feel too easy or too hard to manage.
But what are those mechanics?
Oh, shut the fuck up, I'll tell you, hold your horses. There are about 4 characters in Five Nights at Spies. Yes, only 4. This isn't exactly FNAF 2 by any means. The Spy and Heavy, who virtually have the same mechanics but operate at different speeds, will both start on the opposite side of the map relative to your office and make their way towards you. There's actually multiple ways to keep them at bay, believe it or not, with several doors, being identified as blue bars on the cameras, placed along their path that can be opened and closed. The catch being, however, that you can't have a door closed for more than this door power timer here will allow, the door otherwise breaking and becoming unstable for the rest of the night. But if you do lose all your doors, there's still one more way to evade them, that being with a flashlight you can use inside your office. This is great, but can only really be used a limited amount of times per night, so only use it as a plan B if you can. By the way, the fucking sound this thing makes is abysmal, I hate it. Alongside these two is the Scout, who has a music box styled mechanic. You have to spray them with air freshener for some reason, I don't know, to keep him at bay, but not too much or too little depending on the meter on his camera. Otherwise he'll go apeshit and make a mad dash to your office, insta-killing you. Last but not least though is the Engineer, with his infamous wrench made of solid fucking gold. He only really becomes active by night 5 and operates mainly within the vents. He'll make his way towards the vent camera nearest to this small door here, where you'll have to dedicate door power to keeping it shut until he leaves, or he'll make his way into your office and, like the scout, insta-kill you and end your run. These mechanics don't really sound like anything too crazy for a FNAF game, but I feel that's what makes them so great, and the way they're all executed and balanced in-game makes for a surprisingly engaging and fun experience, with you having to come up with quick strategies and backup plans if things go wrong in order to secure your safety, especially in the later nights.
But goat cheese, that's what you do in the actual FNAF games.
I know, but like, it's done really well here, shut up.
Hi guys, just a brief intermission here to say that I now have a Patreon. It's only one tier, £1.50 a month. It's not a lot, but you'll get your name at the end of every video and some behind the scenes stuff as well. You don't have to join it if you don't want to or don't have the money. Watching my videos is more than enough, but if you have the funds and you feel like sending some money my way, there's an option to do that now, so there you go. Alright, back to the video.
And while these mechanics are all really well balanced and fun to play, it just doesn't really scream TF2, does it? I think if I had to have a major gripe with this game over everything else, it would probably be that this game is only really TF2 related in theme, characters, and world, not necessarily in its gameplay or even in its sound design, funnily enough. Like a majority of the sounds and ambient tracks in this game are straight from FNAF 2 and 3, I'm pretty sure, which is such a shame because TF2 has probably one of the most iconic soundscapes like ever. It's a similar case with the gameplay, I feel. Like the real Team Fortress 2 has an array of moments you might commonly find yourself in during a match that would translate perfectly into a FNAF styled game. Have you ever been guarding the 2-4 intel in such eerie silence? Or manning the point on Harvest alone? Just generally, like rarely anyone's on the fucking point when they need to be. But then again, I don't think staying this true to TF2 would have given the developers a chance to form their own story within this game, which I feel is one of its biggest strengths. It being, like the mechanics, incredibly easy to understand and become engaged with, all thanks to, I believe, how most of it's told to you, i.e. the phone guy. I really like the voice acting of this guy. While I will say the delivery is a bit hit and miss at times, it makes it all incredibly charming. Like I don't think I'll ever forget him talking about the engineer character's wrench being made out of solid fucking gold, or how he delivered his final words before presumably being killed off in night 6.
Just get out of there. Oh, no. God damn it. Jesus. Oh, dear God.
His performance doesn't hinder the delivery of actual information being told to you though, helping you quickly get the hang of the already really easy to pick up mechanics. All this on top of giving a great amount of world building to you to really immerse yourself now into this game and make you actually interested in what's going on, with the mini games giving some supporting material to add that little bit more mystery to everything. It sucks, but I've personally never really cared for stories in FNAF fan games, so the fact that Five Nights at Spies got me interested in its story probably says loads. There's also a good amount of post-game content here as well, with an additional 6th night being playable after night 5, as well as an extras menu, which, although quite bare, I can't lie, is a nice addition nonetheless. Also, I think here's a good point to mention that although the visuals are pretty alright throughout the game generally, the jump scares are... My first day at SFM. Fuck it, I'm doing it. I succumb to the urge. And that's Five Nights at Spies, a simple, sometimes to a fault, game that's really solid in the gameplay and story department, with the TF2 theme being a nice bow on top of it all. It's honestly a shame this game hasn't got as much attention over the years as other FNAF fan games of its time, as it does have a lot of redeeming qualities. It does have some drawbacks, of course, but hey, nobody's perfect. And if anything, its imperfections add to its overall charm. I realize this game is like 10 years old now, but I still do recommend you try it out for yourself if you can. If nothing else, but to relive a more simpler time in FNAF fan game history, with some nice TF2 flavouring as well. Man, working and having a job sure does suck a lot of fucking dick! I'd sure hate to be employed myself, particularly within the fast food industry. What the fuck?